In this series of career development, we'll be bordering on questions relating to client retention, client relationship, client conflict and conflict resolution, and other related matters. So we'll be taking questions from you and we'll be digesting all of that in this series. By the way, my name is Manuel from Kata Studios and we got a question for today. The question says, how do you manage your time when you have tons of projects at hand? And when you get new clients asking for your service, how do you deal with that? Looking at the fact that you haven't delivered almost 50% of the work you've already have on ground. I wonder how you know I haven't delivered 50% of the work, but let's assume that's the case. So this question will be divided by two, one of which is the first section, which says, how do you manage your time when you have tons of projects at hand? Then the second one will match up with the one we have in the later part of this. So let's deal with this first one once and for all. Now, mind you, whatever idea I'm giving out from here is based on my personal experience and I'm not giving anything outside there. This is a question directing to me to actually know how I deal with clients, deal with students, deal with managing my personal life, managing my friends and families and all of that, and still having time for people to chat and reply students, new students, whenever they drop a message. So I'll go straight to the point. Number one, I do what I call personal management before I do time management. So before we talk about time management and personal management, I have to talk about other materials or other things that actually limit you from actually meeting up with clients' projects. So number one of the thing is power. When you have poor power supply, you tend to perform very poor when it comes to clients' deliverables. So when I noticed I have this kind of issue, what I did, I got myself a micro solar power. So mine then was serving me for about 5-6 hours and so. So if there's a power outage, at least I switch that on and I use it to complete most projects without being under pressure. So number two is environmental factor. I think environment also affects whatever you do. So whatever you do, wherever you do it, if you're in a noisy environment, for me, I don't feel comfortable making design. Number three is also laziness. Some persons are just naturally feeling lazy, not that they are lazy naturally. So you wake up in the morning, you feel very uncomfortable, you lie down again or you walk out, but you feel very comfortable chatting with your friend. You feel very comfortable scrolling through the social media, all those 1 minute TikTok materials, scroll through them every day, every now and then. Some persons will even spend about 4 hours in TikTok or Facebook Reel or Instagram Reel, but won't find that zeal to do their work. So you need to deal with that, and I'll be bringing a course on how to deal with that separately. Another thing is knowing time for friends and knowing time for work. Now, whenever I start working, I turn off my phone. In most cases, I put it on silent mode. So any messages or calls that comes after then, when it's my break time, I get in and then I pick it up, then I can do what I want to do. So these are most important aspects. I don't want to get more deep into most factors that might not be very important to talk about, like people who like drinking, people who like going out for nights and doing most of the things. Those are your personal life. You know how to do it, but at least the information I've given to you will give you a guide on what we are talking about. So that's how I deal with that. Power is the most important factor. When you have a steady light, you see it's very easy for you to meet up with client projects. For clients who are asking for projects when I've not delivered even 50% of the previous one, which I'm not sure that's very possible. Now, what I do is I have time for everything. This is where time management comes in and personal management comes in too. So I have time for every client. If I have a project that will be taking me 1 week, I just make sure that is 1 week. I don't try to make another contract or close another deal within that time frame. So if I have, like for instance, I've been booked all through February. So all February projects that are coming in now will be pushed on to March and May and June and July. You get the point. So any project coming in, make sure you have a time frame for it. It's not like every project coming in, you just want to get the money and put in your pockets and then you start a project, jumping it on with the ones you have collected commission for. No. So you have time for everything. Let your client know that this particular time you are not actually free, but you'll be free at this certain time. If they like what you do, they are going to give you that project to handle. So what I do, I put a time for my project and I try to meet up with it. The problem is not even putting on time. Sometimes you might put on 1 week for a project and you realize you can't even meet up with that time. What you do, you let the client know that this project might be taking extra time. You beg for a permission, okay? You can tell them, please, sir, I would be asking or requesting for an extra time for this project because I don't think I can meet up with the current time we have as planned. So they are human, they will understand. As long as it is to give them the best of what you actually can. So when you give your client time, try to give an extra time so you don't match up with other person's projects. So when I give a client for a website design 1 month, I make sure at least I add extra 1 week in case anything happens. Okay, sometimes I might feel very sick or very weak to work. So that's health issue. You could have some kind of problems, emotional issues that might delay you a little. So those time might actually match up to making it easy for you. So for other clients who are coming, make sure you postpone them to their certain time. Make sure you let them know, okay, this is the time you are going to use for your own project. And again, you need to be very, very hardworking. It's not like you are giving everybody time, then you feel relaxed. Now, I can give my clients 1 week to produce a logo concept, but it might take me practically 2 days to do it. And if I'm completed in 2 days, most cases, my clients like those designs. So what I do is simple. I prepare the files, send it out, and then I push back the project that I've extended for the next week. I push it back and I remind the client that I've started the project already. And that makes it even better for them, okay? So I close theirs even before the weekend. Then the ones for next 2 weeks, I push them down to the other week. So when you're planning your time, you make sure you try to meet up with it. But the factors I've mentioned, which are the most important things, are things that can limit you. So for instance, if I don't have a good electricity system, so I sometimes I have lights and sometimes I don't. So when I give a client a time, I might not meet up with the client's project. So you can either get yourself a solar power or get yourself a generator set. That's the backup, okay? So when you charge for a project, you take part of the money, you get fuel, okay? But for solar power, why I love that is that you don't need fuel. Just put it on and do your work, okay? Whenever there is light or whenever there is sunlight, it charges up. So I'm going to teach you guys how to get that from any of your location. I'm going to teach you and I'm going to guide you guys from any of your location on how to get a solar power. So if you need that particular lesson, comment below. I'll be adding you to the group where I'll be making that lesson, and it's very important for 2024. I hope this answers most part of your question. If it doesn't, please leave a comment in the comment section below. Do have a wonderful day.